Okay, to start out our hair tutorial, I wanted to show you some of the things that you're going to need. Number one that you will need is this foam donut. It's a bun maker, and it needs to be that foamy mesh material so you can stick bobby pins right into it. You can buy those in any hair supply area. Of course, lots of bobby pins, and you'll need 2 ponytail holders at least, a comb and a brush, and then some gel. Now, Shaylin is kind of prepped for this hairstyle. She already has gel in her hair, and you're gonna want the hair to be gelled and smooth. We want as few wispies as possible. And then she has a side part on her left side of her face. Sorry, that's our cat back there. So the part's on the left, and then it kind of makes its way down to the middle so that in the back of the head, it's in the middle. And then I've secured one side so that I can work on this side. What the style is going to be is a Dutch braid on this side, a Dutch braid on this side, and it will meet back here where we will secure a bun. Dutch braid is, if you can French braid, you can Dutch braid. It's the same concept. It's just instead of going over with the hair, you go under. So we're going to start by getting a section of her hair here to start the braid. And I will say we want these Dutch braids to be thick. So you're going to want to grab some pretty big chunks of hair, which is nice because the braid then goes by pretty quickly. All right, I'm going to try not to be too picky here. If it was a show day, I would probably take my time a little bit more, but I don't want to bore you guys. Okay, so we break it into 3 sections as you would for a braid. So a French braid, you would go over top, but with a Dutch, you go underneath. So I'm putting this piece under and this piece under. And now each time I go under, I'm going to add some hair. And again, you want them to be pretty big chunks of hair. We don't want tiny front Dutch braids. We want some thick, fat Dutch braids. Okay, grab a big chunk on this side and put it under. And Shaylin is going to have a lovely hairdo for ballet class tonight, hopefully. I am kind of going fast here, so. And you can already see there's some kind of wisps sticking out. I would probably gel her hair a little bit more before I started to try to control those. Three, grab under. And every time I add more hair, I try to make sure that each strand is somewhat smooth. You know, just caressing the hair to make it smooth. Okay, it looks like I'm getting close to the end here. There's one more piece I can add in. Okay, I'm going to braid just a few more strands just to kind of lock it in. Again, going under. And then I'm going to grab a ponytail holder, please. Now, this Dutch braid is not as thick as I would like. It also has way too many wisps. So at the end, I can hairspray some of those down. But here's how we make it a little bit thicker. You go back to the braid and you just kind of start tugging. Kind of like when you're lacing your shoes, and you just kind of start from the bottom and work your way up so that it kind of loosens the braid a little bit and makes it have that thicker, fatter appearance to it. And then what we'll do is just take some bobby pins, because that is going to feel loose to them on their head, not a nice tight braid. And you just kind of pin down some of those loosened areas so that the braid doesn't fall out. That's not a nice color. Okay, so there's one Dutch braid somewhat done, and it's just secured with a ponytail holder down here while I do the other side. Okay, now this is where you would hit fast forward or slide that slider a little bit, because I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. This side has a little bit more hair because of where the part is. So I'm going to start a little bit up further here, closer to the part, but the process is the same. So if you're still watching here, I'm going to break this into 3 parts. And again, instead of going over with the French braid, I go under. Okay, so those 2 side pieces went under. Now I'm going to start adding some nice big chunks of hair and go under. Add a nice chunk here. Sorry, Shay. Okay, if you're still with me, let me chit chat to you a little bit about what would happen on a show day. I understand there are parents, moms, grandmas out there, dads who are like, what? I cannot do that. How am I supposed to do my kids' hair for show days? We will have several parents, I'm sure, who will volunteer to help us get the kids ready. But it will be hard to get 23, because we have to braid 23 heads, all done in an hour or an hour and a half. So to help us out, there's a couple of things. First of all, if you could practice and learn, that would be the best. If you sent your kid to the show with their hair done, that would be amazing. If you can't and you need someone to do it for them at our rehearsal, if you could send them with their hair parted and just in ponytail holders, you know, sectioning off the two sides, that would help immensely, because then the parents that are helping can just jump right into these Dutch braids. That would be a huge help. So there's that. And then the other option, I'm hoping that some of these girls or boy will watch this video and maybe learn how to Dutch braid and can help us. Maybe they can braid each other's hair. That is usually what happens up in the high school. The high school kids kind of learn how. All right, so that Dutch braid is done. And I'm going to plump it up a little bit by tugging on these strands. Shaylin, I'm going to turn you around so they can see this side too, okay? I hope we're still in the camera. Let me just double peek, because we're doing this by ourselves here. Great, turn and look this way. So here, this braid is done. So I'm going to go and just kind of tug on the pieces a little bit to plump that braid out. And if you are someone who is really willing to learn how to do this and help us, I mean, YouTube is an amazing resource, because if you just search how to Dutch braid, you know, there's tutorials there with much better cameras and angles and lighting than I have here. All right, let me spin you back around, Shay. You get up, please. Goodness gracious, you're not a little kid anymore. All right, let me make sure I can see the bun area. Okay. So now we have these two ponytails, and all I'm going to do is pull the ponytail holders out, turn them into one ponytail. Quit turning your head.
Sorry.
Okay. How's that feel?
Good.
Tight? Okay, so you have the ponytail, then you slip the donut over the ponytail, and you say, please look all the way down at your belly button, because you need this to be kind of flat to the ground. You spread the hair out so it makes a nice circle over the little mesh donut. You take another ponytail holder, slip it over the top, and then you have all these fun hairs sticking out. And what I do is I just start kind of gathering and rolling the hair. Shayla's gonna get some bobby pins ready for me. And I just keep adding and rolling and just swirling it around the base of that bun. Again, if I was able to take my time, I would try to make this a little bit neater. But who knows, on show days we might be frantic. And then you just start jamming these bobby pins in. And the great thing about that mesh donut is you can stab them right into the donut. So you can pin all this hair down. You want to make sure you have quite a few pins underneath. That's where they usually fall out. And then of course, where the hair ends, you want to extra pin that down as well. The more pins, the better. It's always fun after a show to count how many bobby pins you pull out of your hair. And I'm going to give Shaylin a few extra pins because she is going to wear this to ballet class tonight. I don't want her bun falling out in ballet class. The ballet teacher would not like that. Okay, I think that's good to show for this video. Now, if you could look at the camera. So I would go back and take some hairspray. I don't have that down here right now, but I would shellac spray it and just kind of gently press down all these wispies and flyaways to try to make it look as smooth as possible. Let me pick this up now. Oh, hi, there she is. So we have the side part on the left. We have a Dutch braid on this side that we have plumped out and pinned down. The Dutch braid on this side that we have plumped out and pinned down. And then we have what we call the sock bun or the donut bun down low towards the base of her neck. And hopefully we'll get everybody looking this way. Now, Landon obviously won't have his hair done this way. Taryn and Hannah, I've already talked to you girls about possibly having a headband with your short hair. But yeah, see that? I would want to gel that down. I'm so picky. All right, that's it. Please post any questions you have below.